Tuesday night. You know what that means? It is time for the Big Black Sports Show. Welcome to the Big Black Sports Show. It's your man, 50 Grand, Kevin Barnes in the building for this week's episode of the Big Black Sports Show. I'm not alone. I got my co-host with me, my brother, Coach Tank. What's popping?
Hey, how you doing? How's it going?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. Another great day, another mild winter day for us to enjoy. So hey, I can't complain, man.
That's right. That's right. And an old man told me even if you did, who would care in the first place, right?
Right.
So welcome to what I do on Tuesday nights. It's the Big Black Sports Show. You know, I like to call this what I would call this is a gangster sports show. This is a gangster ass sports show. This is sports for the streets, right? This is a conversation about sports that we have in the barbershop that we pull no punches, right? We say what we want to say. Right. We put it how we want to put it. We do it how we want to do it. You are welcome to participate in the show. The chat room is popping as usual. And the number is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. So if you got something you want to add, please don't hesitate to bang the line or hit us up, man. I have to shout out everybody who supports Outlaw Radio. I had a great episode of Outlaw Radio last night. Go back and check that. It is on my Facebook page, Kevin Barnes. It's in the People's News Network. Our YouTube page is popping. Just like right now, we're live on YouTube. We're live on Twitter. Just a bunch of different ways to find the show. I advertised it I promoted it on my Instagram page, the People's Network. It's all the People's Network. So you're running out of ways and excuses to say, well, I didn't see the show or I don't know how to see the show. So, but like I said, man, it's the Big Black Sports Show. We're going to have a good time tonight. Talk some shit, swallow some spit, hopefully enlighten you, hopefully entertain you. Like I said, if you want to be part of this, make sure you bang the line. Make sure you leave a message. It's Super Bowl week, Tank. It's Super Bowl week for all you football fans out there. And I've talked a lot about the fact that I have a hard time cheering for the NFL. We'll talk about some of the issues going on in the NFL tonight. We're gonna talk about the Super Bowl. We're gonna give it up for Black History. Significant Black athletes during Black History Month, man. So Mondays we're doing Outlaw Radio, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Tuesdays we're doing the Big Black Sports Show. Wednesdays we're gonna do Outlaw Radio again. Shout out to Kamar Carter and my sister Courtney, Francois, who's a co-host as well. So check us out, man. You know, the People's Network. We're doing big things. We just want to represent the mill. We want to represent the 4-on-4 like it should be represented. So this is what we're doing, man. What's going on with you, man? You ready for the Super Bowl?
I'm ready for it. You know.
Okay.
I've accepted the teams for what they are, and I'm looking forward to a good game.
Right. Are you over the fact that the Packers are not in the Super Bowl? I know a lot of people are dealing with, you know, still a little depression that the Pack ain't in it.
I'm still mourning. I'm still hurting. Man, but I'm gonna make it though. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be all right.
Yeah, no doubt, man. You know, like I said, you know, it's a lull. If you live in Wisconsin, there's a lull when the Packers lose. It's kind of like a momentary moment of depression that people go through. So,
right,
you know,
it's an emptiness right now. It's like it feels like there's an empty void right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The black hole.
Man, yeah, you know, and you know, like my wife is not from here; she's from Minneapolis, so she always bugged out when she first got here on how crazy Packer fans are for the, you know, when they lose, especially if they lose to the Bears. So you know, it did take a minute. Yeah, and now we're watching what's going on with the Aaron Rodgers situation in Green Bay, and you know, we'll talk about that a little bit tonight, man. I just want y'all to relax, man. You know, crack a brew, crack a drink, you know, roll something up, you know, do what it is that y'all do. I won't tell y'all business on the air, right? Like, you know, get relaxed. Because the one thing about sports, and the reason why I decided to do a show, a sports show in particular, is because sports moves people in America.
Yes, I agree. I do not know if you hear me. I think you lost me. Okay. Can you hear me? I'm having I'm having some difficulties here. Can
Yeah,
you
we
hear
having
me?
some. Yeah, I can hear you.
There
Can
we
you hear
go.
me?
There we go.
Technical difficulties. Hey, it is what it is, man. It's the internet.
Hey.
I seen everything was froze. I'm like, what the hell? Right, it happens, man. People say Cam didn't pay his cable bill. Let's pay. All my bills are paid. It's just machines and shit. Jesse Parrish, shout out to Jesse Parrish. He said, "Who's gonna win the Super Bowl?" I'm going with the Rams.
Rams, baby.
Right. I got to go with the Rams too, but I don't want to play Joe Burrow. I don't want to play Joe Burrow to the side. Right.
Hey.
I don't want to play Joe Burrow to the side because Joe Burrow is a good young quarterback and he has a bunch of good young receivers.
But you know what?
What's
but
that?
You know what, defense wins championships, and that Rams defense is gonna make chopped liver out of Joe Burrow. They're gonna bang his ass.
Well, the thing about the Bengals is they've had a hard time protecting Joe Burrow through the playoffs because you remember against Jacksonville he got sacked 9 times, and I don't think Jacksonville's front is as good as LA's. So the one thing about it is, like you said, defense wins championships, but Jamar Chase is a hell of a receiver. Joe Burrow has some good receivers. Mixon is a good running back. This is a good matchup. I don't want, a lot of people, especially in Milwaukee, don't get a chance to see the Bengals a lot. So they don't know. I've been fortunate enough to watch the Bengals, and I watched them against the Packers because really they had the Packers beat. Just was back-to-back missed field goals. So it's gonna be an interesting matchup, though. It's what they always say, the unstoppable force against the immovable object, right? Like, so it'll be good to see. I think they both have good, bright young coaches, and I think the game plan for the Bengals will be get the ball out of Joe's hands, quick, fast. They have to, because the Rams front is coming.
Right.
They are coming.
Donald, Von Miller.
Yes, and they're not the only two. They're the marquee players. But on the back end, you got Jalen Ramsey. They have a good defensive back end too. But the Bengals have a fast, young, aggressive defense. They have a very fast. Their defenses, they move around a lot. They get upfield. They get at you. So it's gonna be a good game, man. It's gonna be a good game. I'm not a bet man. You a bet man? Now you gave me a score. I bet you can't remember the score you gave me earlier in the week.
No, I think I told you 28-13.
And I think I said 37-45. I think they're gonna light it up. Okay,
you think it's gonna be It's gonna be a barnstormer.
Right. The elephant in the room, though. Okay, so it's the Big Black Sports Show. So we got to talk about sports from a black perspective. We got to talk about what's going on in terms of our people. At the end of the day, this is a game, right? And it's what I like to refer to as a lovely distraction. But the real is the real. So we got to talk about the NFL, the racist aspect of the NFL. The NFL, and you see right now, everybody's so vocal about the NFL right now. I've seen people saying that the NFL has been run like a plantation for a very long time. I even see Stephen A. Smith, and I've always been critical of Stephen A. Smith. I felt like, but I think Stephen A. Smith has done some things in the last few months. And I didn't like when he got rid of Max Kellerman because I thought Max Kellerman was a credible journalist, but he brought other black men in, so I can't be too mad. He brought Michael Irvin and he brought Keyshawn Johnson in. Not necessarily a fan of either one, but I did kind of understand, okay, it's important for us to bring us along. And Max Kellerman has enough fame and enough momentum to kind of do his own thing. But Stephen A. Smith was talking about the Giants because the brother Flores, who put up the lawsuit, Brian Flores, who's the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, who was fired with a winning record, 2 back-to-back winning records, mind you. He was fired, and he's been getting a runaround, as all of the black candidates have gotten in terms of getting head coaching jobs. So he sued, and I'm just catching the people up. I want people to be, to catch up. So he sued, right? So, and Belichick, see now, last Bill Belichick texted the wrong person and shit and congratulated him. He texted the wrong person. So Yeah, man. So he has this lawsuit in, and it's a credible lawsuit. Because for years, and even though they have the Rooney Rule in effect that's supposed to guarantee minorities get opportunities to get these jobs, we know that the NFL is a good old boy network owned by some very powerful, rich white men. Very powerful. These individuals who own these NFL teams are like the creme de la creme of the one percenters. These dudes is blue bloods for real. A lot of them, Jerry Jones oil, just for years. You know what I mean? And so these dudes do what they want to do. So they gave Flores the runaround, and he sued. Now the latest news is that they hired 2 new minority coaches.
Right.
There's Lovie Smith for the Houston Texans, and there's the other brother. It's
Mike
named McDaniels. Thank you, sir. And he's biracial. Now I looked at him. Did he look black to you? I was like, he like a white boy.
Dude, I don't know. That's a very, very, very light shade of black.
Right. He looks like a white dude, but apparently he's a black man. So that brings us to a total of, I believe, let's see, Mike Tomlin, Ron Rivera, Saleh, who's an Arab American. Obviously, Rivera's a Latino. Lovie Smith and McDaniel. So it's 5 minority coaches in the NFL. If I'm forgetting somebody, let me know. Or anybody out there who said, "Kev, you missed one. It's all good." But I mean, out of 32 teams, you have 5 minority coaches, and in a league that's 85% African American. Wow. This is ridiculous. And like I said, I thought it was very interesting that Roger Goodell, who's the commissioner of the NFL, at first they did what they normally do, which is deny, and say, no, everything we do is based on diversity. And then he turned around and sent a letter to the teams and said, your record on hiring minorities is unacceptable. So I'm hoping Lovie Smith, let's talk about Lovie Smith for a minute, because Lovie Smith used to be the head coach of the Chicago Bears. He did take the Bears to the Super Bowl and almost went back the following year. But he went to Tampa Bay, he didn't do so well. I believe that's where he went in Tampa Bay. I think Lovie was at the University of Illinois as well, where he had some limited success and he was fired. So is Lovie being set up to fail in Houston? Because Houston has problems. Like they had, with their quarterback, they had the young brother who the Houston Texans basically lost their quarterback. And they weren't really good last year. Except 5 minority NFL owners out of 32 teams. This is Jesse Paris. It's clear racism. Of course. Is there 5 minority owners? I didn't know that they had any minority owners. Deshaun Watson was the quarterback in Houston. Right. Of course, Deshaun got caught up on a bunch of different shit. Like Deshaun, Deshaun with the freaky, with the massage therapist. Like, I don't know what's up with that.
I'm not well versed on what's going on with Deshaun Watson, though. I found it odd though that he missed the entire season over what's going on. But if they're choosing Lovie to be like a lame duck coach, that's the wrong choice, because Lovie is a winner. You know what I'm saying? I can't see him accepting being expected to lose. You know what I'm saying? Just to get a job. I think it was a good hire. Now some people do feel that he was set up. They talked about hiring the ex-quarterback. The team actually, they interviewed this quarterback twice. This ex-quarterback,
Josh McCown. Josh McCown
interviewed him twice before they brought in Lovie. But I mean, now see, if you want to tank, then that's what you do. You hire an inexperienced coach like Josh McCown. But if you want to win games, I think the Houston Texans are going to turn it around with Lovie.
Lovie is a good coach. I'm not denying that he's not a good coach. But I'm talking about the situation. Houston is not one of the best places to be in the NFL. It's not right now. The Texans, like I said, with Deshaun Watson, there's a void at quarterback. They traded away the receiver, their top receiver. Damn, his name misses me. He's with the Cardinals right now.
Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, so they traded him away. And last year their record was it represent. Now they ended up actually. Lovey was the interim coach last year, and he was the assistant head coach. They ended up winning some games, but they're not a good team. And their owner, I hear, and I have just inside perspective from somebody who I know who has my boy who actually trained a young man from Milwaukee who plays with the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
So I've heard a lot of things from him about the situation in Houston where the owner is not. He's not. The father was the original. McNair was the original owner, but the son has the team now. So from what I hear, it's not a good place to be. And sometimes NFL teams get to that point where they're just bad organizations. You know what I mean? So I hear that Houston is not a good place to be. So I'm just hoping Lovey ain't going in there. It's like the youngster, the young man from what'd you say his name was from San Fran who took the other one, the other McDonald's, that his name? Uh,
McDaniels.
McDaniels.
Yeah, Mike
Okay.
McDaniels.
Yeah, I hope he's not being set up either because he doesn't have a long track record of success as a head coach. He's as a matter of fact, they said he had a meteoric rise. He came in as a assistant, a grad assistant, and as in an intern position, and he's elevated up.
That kind of alarmed me too, man, because he was the 49ers run game coordinator.
Okay,
But he wasn't even the offensive coordinator. He was actually up under the offensive coordinator.
right.
So, but he was a damn good one though.
Well, I mean, the 49ers did a good job of running the
Yeah,
ball. They ran the ball well.
he was damn good one. He had a really good scheme. But that's just one aspect of football. You know,
Right.
can you handle all the aspects? You know, and
Yeah.
that shocked me too because I'm like, damn, he's not even the coordinator. He's that's like hiring a glorified running back coach to be a head coach in the NFL.
And I
It's
think
good, but
there's a lot of experienced coaches that got passed up. This is the problem. A lot of guys in the NFL come in and they're coaches for 20 years, 30 years, black coaches who are great coaches, have been in a lot of winning programs and have a lot of success, and they get passed over by young up and coming coaches, whatever, what have you. They get passed over, and that's the issue. And so I had an article. I wanted to actually bring the article on. I didn't. I chose not to. It's called "The Humiliation of Black Coaches in the NFL," like how they really get treated. I'm looking at my chat room. Jesse Paris says currently there are 2 minority NFL owners: Shad Khan, who is Pakistani, and he owns the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Kim Pagula, who's an Asian American who co-owns the Buffalo Bills. Okay, 2 of them, which is piss poor, right? Like come on, right? But it's just like anything else in America. It's just like anything else in America. Race plays a part in any and everything in America. And we get shut out of a lot of things in America. Black people, minorities, period. And this is another example of it. So, but I think it's up to the fans. The NFL can count on a couple things. They can count on us watching these games. And I watched the Packer game. Like I said, I years prior, just to support Colin Kaepernick, I started to participate, or I wanted to participate in the boycott for the NFL. But I said, I gotta watch the Packer game, right? Like, so I watched the Packer game, but I wouldn't watch any other NFL game. So that's kind of like how I still operate. Like, I rarely watch any game except for the Packer game. I might watch a couple snippets, or unless I want to see what a young player, like I wanted to see what Lamar Jackson was all about. I want to see what the hype was about. So I watched some Ravens games. But I don't buy NFL apparel. I never will. I don't own a jersey. I don't, as much as I love the Packers, you never seen me with a piece of Packer apparel on, because I just won't give them my money like that because of their policies towards minorities. One little view from me, to me, that's just a drop in the bucket. But we have to show. It's one of those things with black people where we have to show them. When we say we mean business, we mean business. And so when you mistreat us, I believe we should show them. We put our money where our mouth is. Shout out to Seduction Doll. She said she was checking us out before Frontline Black News. Yes, and you know what? I hope y'all still on, my sister, because when I get off of here, I'm gonna try to get with y'all on Frontline Black News. So I'm gonna try to get with y'all and come on there and check y'all out tonight because they always support Outlaw Radio. Shabaka's my homeboy. I talked to Shabaka. Shabaka calls me. We have some great conversations. He's always have great conversations with Shabaka. As that brother's all about the people. But yeah, man. So it's Super Bowl week. It's Black History Month. You know, they had the Pro Bowl. I mean, let's talk about the Pro Bowl too. Like, you know, people were upset about the Pro Bowl because obviously they was out there bullshit, right? Like, right. But what should the Pro Bowl be? Like, should these dudes really be out there trying to break their neck and risk injury in the Pro Bowl? Like, a great majority of the players who make the Pro Bowl don't even show up. The real stars who get to the Pro Bowl don't even go, right? Like, as they said, Tom Brady, he's made, I want to say over 18 Pro Bowls or something like that, but he only went to 2. They said, well, 10 times he was in the Super Bowl, but so he didn't go. But that's not a priority for players. Like, you get named All Pro, you get named to the Pro Bowl. It's a bonus for you on your paycheck. And when you get there, it's all fun. Like, nobody's gonna go out there and really be trying to knock each other out. So people were upset. People were upset about the Pro Bowl. What you think about that?
Well, see, compare the Pro Bowl to the NBA's All-Star game.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Look how big the NBA's All-Star game is as compared to the Pro Bowl. It's by volumes much more larger. You know what I'm saying? And much more anticipated. So what can the NFL do to make the Pro Bowl as just as interesting as the NBA's All-Star game? You got to give the players better incentives. First of all, you got to make the players want to play and want to go 100%. I think if they did give the players more money and more incentives to make them go hard, play the Pro Bowl just as hard as you will play in the Super Bowl. If you ask me, I want to see a great Pro Bowl game. I don't want to see a glorified flag football game.
I disagree. I don't think they should go hard in the Pro Bowl. I think they deserve the right to just get out there and have some fun, and because the NFL season is so grueling, right? Like it's so that it's a long, and they just added a game. So we're talking about being at this from August until February. I mean January, you know, at least for playoff teams. Now, as a former football player, you get beat up during the season. And I ain't playing the NFL. I play college ball. And I know at the end of the season, it was like, man, you had everybody on that team had something where you was like, man, season over, I'm about to go get surgery over here. Or, man, I got to go to the training room and get – and brothers sometimes you'd be like, man, you've been playing all year with that? And it's like, yeah, man. So I think they deserve an opportunity to just get out there and have fun, fly around. The NBA is a different game, though, because basketball is a different game.
Well, see, I disagree with that because with the Pro Bowl, when we're discussing the Pro Bowl, these guys, it's all about the fans. Who wants the Pro Bowl more? Who is it more significant to? The fans. If the Pro Bowl, the Pro Bowl don't even have to be played if it's for the players. The players can just be announced. Such and such made AFC All Pro first team. Such and such made NFC All Pro second team. They can just be mentioned. You know what I'm saying? You can just mention the fact that they were All Pros instead of the Pro Bowl being played out. The Pro Bowl is for the fans, and the fans want to see good football, not a glorified flag football game. I want to see hitting. I want to see trick plays. I want to see a great game. A competitive game, not just a fluff game. Because then what is the pageantry for? Why are you wasting the money producing the game? Why are you wasting the money? Why are fans wasting their money preparing to go to the games? See,
you know, first of all, you got to look at the Pro Bowl is a week-long event. So the fans, and they set this up for the fans. The fans get actually a very, very, very good opportunity to get up close and personal with the players. They have the skills challenges. They have all kinds of different opportunities where you can go and take pictures and get autographs and meet the players and sit down and talk with them. The fans, it is all about the fans. Actually, it's very fan friendly. But the fact of the matter is I get you saying, well, I want to see some hitting. I want to see, well, yeah, but I mean, I'm looking at Eric Dickerson. I'm looking at Eric Dickerson's interview, the great running back from the Los Angeles Rams from the 80s. And he's talking about dealing with injuries in his 50s. He's talking about having problems sleeping. He's talking about having constant pain. He was talking about a hit that he took in 1984, playing the Jets in the end zone. He scored and he got hit with a cheap shot. And he talks about the fact that he can still feel that hit. We're talking about these, at the end of the day, these are men, these are mortal men. And see, fans get bloodthirsty. It's just like a fan don't give a shit, right? Like a fan just want to see, hey, go, they ain't hurt, you know. This is why they have concussion protocols now in the NFL. This is why, like, he talked about seeing players go into that medical tent now that they have on the sideline, which is new, by the way. And he says if they had that medical tent when I played, I wouldn't have finished a lot of games because he played concussed. He played with injuries. That during that time they hit you with that needle and you went back out there. So I'm saying, when do we give these players a chance to rest and recover? And you shouldn't have to. Okay, I finished the season. I'm beat up. I made the sacrifice. I played hard. I played hurt. Now I got picked to go to the Pro Bowl. It should be a fun weekend for me to go and meet fans and have a good time. I shouldn't be under pressure to go out there and get the shit knocked out of me again. So
but it's a reward and it's an honor. It's a reward and it's an honor because of how hard you played during the season.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a reward and an honor because of how hard you played. And the fans want to see you. So I mean, I understand the part about the wear and tear on the body, you know, over the years, and, you know, things like that. But hey, you're a professional athlete and you get paid a lot of money to go out there and risk your body to play.
I don't like for people to say they get paid a lot of money, because the sport that they play generates a lot of money. So they deserve whatever compensation, which, by the way, is minimal in the big picture, right? Like, so I think I'd be pissed. Now you talk about fans. Let's talk about fans, right? I'd be pissed if Aaron Rodgers, and this is, I know he's on the fences to whether or not he's going to be a Packer again, but just putting him in there, he's kind of like a widget in this regard. Say Aaron Rodgers goes to the Pro Bowl, right? And we got a bomb-ass team coming back next year. We almost made it this year. He goes out there and some overzealous defensive end who says, I'm going to treat the fans. I'm going to go hard. Aaron Rodgers gets his shoulders separated in the Pro Bowl and got to miss the regular season. I'm pissed. I'm upset. As fans, we're upset because we're like, well, this don't make no sense. It's the Pro Bowl. And regardless, I know you brought up All-Star Weekend. Those guys, they don't go as hard. Those scores in the NBA be 170 to 160 in the NBA All-Star game. All-Star Weekend is off the charts.
They don't play defense, but they go hard on offense.
They shoot a ball in a basket. They shoot a ball in a basket. They don't got to run through 250-pound men to get in the end zone. Seduction Doll said we like to see tackles and touchdowns. I couldn't imagine being a man playing football. Shout out to Jesse Parrish. He said they'll be on from 9:30. They'll go on at 9:30 Central Standard Time. So that gives me time to get with Shabaka and the Black Experience when I'm done here with the because we'll only be on about an hour or so with the Big Black Sports Show. She said, I'm glad they opened the stadium for the fans. I don't like digital fans, but I ain't wearing nobody's mask. Ooh, you hit a touchy one with that mask debate. Seduction Doll, she hit a touchy one with that mask debate. People go hard on those masks. But yeah, man, Tank, I think that's the argument that what we have as fans is that it's just like boxing. You know, if you go to an exhibition fight, right? I believe the boxers should get a chance to do exhibition. Like they shouldn't be in there. You can get your ass knocked out and get your nose broken. The fans expecting to see me bleed. It's an exhibition fight, man. They just want to see you put on a little show. Charity basketball games, even though we know a lot of celebrities, that's their chance to shine. But it's not. It's competitive, but it's more for the entertainment portion of it. So I just think that the people need to stop. People complain about everything in the first place. I don't think we need to be sweating these dudes because the Pro Bowl is a farce. So then what are you going to do? You're going to tell the players, unless you go hard, you can't play. They're going to say, cool, because I got a bonus on my check anyways. So I won't play then. Now, what do you have? Most of the stars won't. They already have a problem with getting the major stars to show up.
Right. I mean, they've actually had this issue for years anyway. That's why they've changed the concept of it up so much. I don't know, man. I get what you're saying, but I feel that if they wanted to compete with the NBA's All-Star game, they got to step it up a level. And the only way to step it up is to make the game itself more serious. And the only way to make it more serious is to bang, tackle.
Well, I tell you what, we talked about who generates what. The NFL is kicking the NBA's ass in revenue. They don't got to compete with All-Star Weekend. That's not even because you know why? Because the Super Bowl is Sunday, and the Super Bowl, the NBA Finals can't even come close.
But isn't that odd?
To the Super Bowl?
But isn't it odd that the NFL makes us twice as much more money than the NBA, but the NBA's All-Star makes twice as much more money than the Pro Bowl?
I don't think it's odd. I don't think it's odd at all. We
the
talking
NFL
about
the NFL has more. What? It has more fans.
Well, in an NBA, I mean, an NFL stadium usually holds more fans than an NBA stadium does. An NFL stadium's 75, 80,000 people. There's not that many people in the average NBA stadium. That's why they play 2 times, 3 times, 4 times more games. I just feel like the All-Star thing is different. It's because the sports are different. You know what I mean? It's like Major League Baseball when they have their All-Star game, right? Are they out there trying to bust that? No, they're just out there playing. Like, it's just like, man, we having fun. People come to see the home run derby. Like they go to the end. They go to the part. And they go to the NBA All-Star Weekend to see the dunk contest. More people care more about the dunk contest than they do about the game, right? Like it's cool for you to get the MVP of the NBA All-Star game. Like that's most of the time, so Kobe got it or Jordan got it or all the greats, they win it. But I mean, as basketball is just a different sport. It doesn't take the physical toll. And I don't think basketball, until you get to the finals and get to the playoffs, and y'all can correct me if y'all disagree. Chat room, see the line, the number. To me, basketball doesn't have the same kind of drama as football does, because with football you play one game a week, and it's building up that drama of and there's more parity in the NFL than any other sport because any team can beat any team at any given time, right? In the NBA, most of the time, the garbage teams can't even compete with the top tier teams, even on it happens. But see the Lakers now. Throw a jab at Laker fans.
Right. Bucks and Lakers tonight, I might add.
Yeah, they play the Bucks tonight. So that I hope the Bucks put it on them sideways. Right. We'll talk about the Bucks too, but we do our football first because we're both football players. But shout out to you, man, and the book. Let's talk about your book because we always got to talk about your book. He's an author. I'm on my way. I'm on my way to try and write a little bit. I got some dissertation work to do first.
Yeah, hey, Kevin, the book has been doing good, man. I want to appreciate everybody that has bought it. It's getting good reviews. My long-term goal, man, is to get it revised and republished and put into children's libraries. Okay. But it's a very good autobiography, man, and daily, man, I'm getting calls and I'm getting good reviews on it, man. So I really appreciate it, and I thoroughly encourage you to go out and get that book, Full Back, by Larry Thompson.
Right. Yeah, shout out to you, man, for writing a book. And I would hope you get some invitations to do some speaking, because I think if anything, what I got from the book, I read the book. It's a good book, by the way. What I got from the book was that it was a story of perseverance. and
Yes.
and there's a lot of things that you talk about in the book that you went through, that a lot of us as brothers went through. I didn't, and we talked about this. I did. That's why it was so eye-opening to me, because I was like, wow, I kind of grew up taking my parents and my family for granted. Like I was, but I didn't. When I read what you had to go through in the book, I was like, damn, that's incredible. So and so many of our kids, especially in Milwaukee, have to deal with a lot of the socioeconomic issues and the issues with your parents. Like you talk about getting basically uprooted. Like it's hard to be consistent when you torn from this place to go to this place and from this place back. So it's a good read, man. It's a good read. So I want to give you your credit. I want to give you props. It's a good read.
Stability is the most important thing to a child, especially a teenager. Stability.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. Having that base, having that base up under them. You know what I'm saying? And shit, there were days where, there was no base
right.
for me. You know what I'm saying? I had to figure it out. So
show the cover of the book for me again.
Yeah.
Right. And how can people get this book?
You can go to Amazon. You can order it on Amazon. It's on paper book and it's on ebook. And you can also go to Lulu and order on Lulu.
Okay.
So it's on Amazon and Lulu.
I need for you to. I gotta get that to share in the People's News Network more, so people can get a hold to that book. Yeah. All the information in regards to promoting the book. We just need to get it because like I said, right now in Milwaukee, there's some youngsters who are going through a lot of the stuff you talk about in that book, right? Like so, and there's some youngsters who they want to play, and just as a former coach in the city conference, I ran across a lot of kids who really wanted to play ball, but whatever was going on at home kind of trumped that situation. Even with one of the biggest problems that I had when I coached in the city conferences, sometimes I got a player who could have really been good, but I got him too late. Like I'd get him his senior year and he just. And I've had kids tell me, Coach Barnes, I wish I could have got you as my coach 2 years ago. And I say, I wish you could have too, son, because you'd have been a monster. But I couldn't because my mom, we moved here. I had transferred schools. It's all kinds of stories that kids got to deal with, man, that keeps them from being able to, get down. Now, we also have another problem in Milwaukee, which is there's a lot of premium athletes walking around schools that ain't doing shit. You 6'5", 290 pounds for no reason at all because you don't play sports. Like I don't know how many big boys, tall, like kids with that natural build that I've walked up to at schools and say, man, why don't you come on out, man, and check us out? Kid look me right in my eye and say, I don't play football. I don't play sports. That's not what I do. I don't. So, and a lot of that's due to socioeconomic conditions as well. So,
and I used to see it a lot. I used to see it a lot at St. Charles too when I worked at St. Charles Youth and Family Services. A lot of those kids, man, athletic, you know what I'm saying? Just can't put it together. You know what I'm saying? For some reason or the other. But we got a lot of kids out here, man. They just need that stability and structure. It's all they need. Right. And if we can get to them early enough, we can change some lives. But
wow, you brought up St. Charles. I did my time at St. Charles. I did my time at St. Charles, and man, we also we tried to get a lot of boys in sports. I was able to get some kids. We actually when I was at St. Charles, we had a basketball league. It was like an inter-unit basketball league, and it was pretty good for the kids. The kids. And these were kids who were never eligible enough to really have, they weren't able to play for their schools or whatever. It's funny because we tried to extend it so other group homes could come in and play and this kind of thing, and we ended up having a big ass fight. Like it just, St. Charles is playing another group home, and one of our boys got put to sleep in the middle of the court. Like it was wild.
Wow.
And you've been at St. Charles when it goes down, and you got to get on that radio and say assistance needed. I'm the focus unit. So all staff has to come running. And I mean, we had a situation and that deaded our league, our basketball league. But yeah, man, I mean, it's a tough pill, man. It's a tough pill for Milwaukee. And I see now basketball coaches have the same issues. Like it's, it's tough to get these kids, man. And they have to deal with so much shit. Our communities are so violent and their families are so unstable that, it's hard for them to say, I'm focusing, I want to be but it should be, you'd think that this would be something that gave them more focus. But it's not. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. So, but yeah, football is one of those sports, man. It's a tough sport, but it's a sport that will teach you discipline and dedication, and it'll check you. Football checks your guts. Football, you got to tuck them. I mean, physically, mentally, it's a game that challenges you on every. And basketball players say, "Kev, it's the same." I just don't think so. So.
It will humble you. It will also give you that boost of confidence you need. Socially. But to me, man, the most important thing that football teaches is self-discipline.
Okay.
More than anything.
Yes.
I think it teaches self-discipline and struggling through adversity.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think playing any organized sport, I think is helpful to a lot of kids. I know growing up, I played basketball and got to football late, but just having that camaraderie with kids and you're learning from each other, man. I wouldn't change it, man. And I encourage people to put your kids in sports.
There's a lot of controversy. It's a lot of controversy with that. People don't want their young children. Like, I know a lot of brothers tell me I wouldn't let my son play tackle football. My son has played tackle football since the age of 6, and he's 15 years old right now. And thank God I was there, because I was there to make sure he didn't get hurt and that I didn't put him at risk at all. I vividly remember his first year playing football because he was playing with older, bigger kids. And I remember his first game, and he got hit by a big old, he was 6. He got hit by a big old 9, 10-year-old. And he was like, I'm done with this shit. This ain't, I ain't doing this. And my thing was, you don't quit. You don't start something and quit. You finish what you start. So what I did was I put him at safety. And at that time, when they're that small, you can be on the field. Right. So I was standing right behind him. And what I told him was, you got 2 rules back here. Anybody who runs out to catch a pass, you cover them. When they run the ball, you run to the pile or you run to the ball. That's what he did. He had a great time. He ended up, and it came good for him because he could see it. He could see everything in front of him as opposed to really being up front and trying to be and get through all the confusion. So he ended up, and it's funny now because right now he plays safety and corner. So, it's just one of those things where as a parent, we can be worried about what our children get involved with, but I think our involvement with it is what makes a lot of difference. Because I know coaches who will throw your son or your daughter to the wolves with sports. I was there the whole time. I wasn't going to let it happen. And so I would encourage, I tell a lot of parents, he could get hurt playing football, but he can get hurt riding a bike. He can get hurt jumping off a porch. He can get hurt driving down the street. He can get hurt crossing the street. I was one of those kids who got hurt doing everything. Like I fell off dirt bikes. I done jumped jump ramps. We used to put bricks under a piece of wood in the alley and then drive the whole alley and come ride a half a block and come back and fly up in the air 30 feet, come off the bike. Like we were allowed to be children, and especially boys. Boys, for some reason, have an overwhelming desire to climb shit and jump off. Right? Like it's like
the things we did to hone our athletic progress.
Right.
Stacking up some pissy mattresses and then crawling on the top of a garage and flipping on them.
Oh my goodness.
That's some crazy shit when you think back to it.
I'm so embarrassed about some of the mattresses that's so nasty. It's so disgusting.
Crazy shit when you think back to it. The things we used to do we were so athletic.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's what you do. And young, I don't want to discount. I don't want to, not include young ladies. I don't want, If you're a parent and you have a little girl and she wants to play sports, because we see now women are, they just signed the first female kicker that ever played in the FBS. Now she just signed a pro deal. I don't know. I seen it. Yeah, I seen it going across the screen last night on ESPN. I don't know who she signed with, but she just signed a pro deal to kick for in the NFL. So women are making their way through it, man.
The most effective player on the field is the kicker.
Yeah, well, unless he's a punter, then you got to keep your head on the swivel. Yeah, be careful, man. All right, my sister Seduction Doll, thank you for tuning in. I know you got to get with Shabaka. I'm gonna get on with y'all tonight when I get off, because I rock with Shabaka Frontline Black News. Yeah, I rocks with them. Those are brothers and sisters in the revolution. And they support Outlaw Radio too. So I'm gonna check in with y'all tonight, and I'll be in with y'all when we get done. As we get through, give it up for them. But yeah, man. So as Black History, I got to give it up for my Black athlete. I try to dedicate part of our show to a Black athlete every week, and this week I want to talk about a brother by the name of Fritz Pollard. I think it's important and relevant that we talk about Fritz Pollard here on the Big Black Sports Show. And it's so relevant because Fritz Pollard was actually the first Black NFL head coach. He's also one of the first 2 Black NFL players. Okay. This goes all the way back to 1920. This is how far I'm taking y'all back. 1920. Here's the deal.
20s.
Well, the NFL was more of a barnstorming league back then. So one of the teams that he played for, I believe 1922, was the Milwaukee Badgers.
Wow.
Yeah, Milwaukee actually had a pro football team, the Milwaukee Badgers, and it was one of the teams he played for. Here's the deal, though. After 1926, the NFL put a ban on Black players. So Fritz Pollard, Paul Robinson, a bunch of the brothers who started out playing, they were removed from the league. And then the league was under a mandate not to sign any Black players. Of course, we know major universities and colleges didn't sign Black players. So in essence, there was a ban on Black players. And Fritz Pollard actually started a couple barnstorming teams for Black players. We know that the HBCUs, Grambling in particular, came along and really started to grab great players. And that's why I say it's a lot of NFL Hall of Famers right now from that era who were not drafted because they were Black kids who went to Black colleges and they got a chance to walk on. And I think the irony is that one of the white coaches said Fritz Pollard was one of the greatest runners of the football that he'd ever seen. But the NFL had basically a ban on Black players for about 15 years, I think, until we got to the 50s, I think, and I would have to research that. But Fritz Pollard, man, one of the pioneers, went on later on in life, did some stuff in Hollywood, produced movies, produced musicals. There's actually a Fritz Pollard Society right now. There's a group that tries to encourage minority hiring for Black coaches. So this has been a thing for a long time. This is why I say race and sports, there's a direct connection. Race, sports is, I've heard people say this about football, that football is a microcosm of life because there's so many ups and downs and there's so much you have to put into it that you work extremely hard to play football. Like, people don't understand. Yeah. I tell kids all the time, especially if they want to go to the next level, you have to work your ass off. I didn't play. It's not like I went to Miami. I played at a Division II. I played at a Division I AA. Work. I'm talking about especially spring ball, being in a field house at 5:30 in the morning, running a couple miles, doing drills. And then I got an 8:30 class. Not to mention,
just competing with somebody that's working just as hard, if not harder.
Or harder. Yeah. Mind you, this was on the tail of me staying up all night playing GoldenEye on Nintendo 64, smoking and drinking, right? Like, this is harder to do.
Oh, man.
Good old days, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to all my college teammates, man. We had a good time. But yes, it's a lot of work, man. And one thing you learn from sports, period, is how to work. Unless you're one of those lazy cats, but Sports gives you a work ethic and it teaches you perseverance. That's why I like your book, because maybe you didn't get to the heights that you wanted to, but just the possibility, just you thinking of the possibility of what you could do kept you going, and it kept you motivated. So I think that's a story a lot of kids need to hear.
Using it as an escape, trying to use it as almost as an escape, with your reality, and things don't turn out the way you want them to, but you still learn a lot of things from the journey, and that's that's what I'm trying to purvey with the book.
Pick up my brother's book. Pick up Tank's book, Larry Purdue, fullback. You got the John Marshall uniform on the cover. I'm a general. I feel some kind of way about that, but I'm gonna put that to the back. But shout out to you, man. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you in the book.
Since you mentioned, I can't help but to mention shout out to those mighty Milwaukee Marshall Eagles.
No applause for that. No applause for that.
Past and present, and the future.
Laughing you out the building, my brother. Man,
I gotta represent.
Right. I wanted to go. I ain't gonna lie. I wanted to go. My daddy was like, "No, hell no, you ain't going there." Oh man. So no. But just a shout out to you for the book, man.
Thanks, bro.
And I wanted to just add before we move on, because time flies when you're having fun. It's damn near 8:30, so we've already been on damn near an hour. If you're just tuning in, it's the Big Black Sports Show. Welcome to the Big Black Sports Show. Trying to get this thing up off the ground, man. The People's Network. This is what we do on Tuesday. I like to call this a gangster rap, a gangster sports show. We talk about sports like it is, right? You can say what you want to say. We don't have to water it down. ESPN is owned by Disney, so ESPN is watered down. They don't get to say what they want to say, but we get to say. Did we talk about it like we talk about it in the barbershop here? I want to talk about the fact that for a lot of brothers who don't have fathers, who don't have positive male role models, football coaches kind of step into that role. I don't know if you remember when we coached at Madison together. I had a young brother by the name of Travion Billings.
Yeah,
and
Billings.
And I coached 12 years. Best player I ever had, hands down. Just like an extension of me on the field, because I could tell him I need that ball. He's gonna go smack something and get that ball for me. He used to terrorize people.
He was a beast. He was a hell of a linebacker, man.
Yes, he was. And as quiet as he's kept, all the years I coached, one of the best linebackers to come out of the city. I've heard people listen. The brother was talented, but when I got to know him, he didn't have a father figure in his life. He was a good kid, but he could have went either way. And God blessed me so that I was able to function as a mentor. He came to my house. I fed him. My wife got to know him. I supported him all through college. I'm not telling this story for credit, right? We do this for a cause, not applause. But to this day, this young brother, he has a master's degree. He ended up playing college ball and getting a master's degree. And I talked to him. We've gone out to breakfast. He'll come over. My son used to idolize him. And he'll come over now, and he'll come over here. He'll call me coach. He'll reach out to me, and I tell him, like, you're a grown ass man. You don't got to call me coach no more. He said, no, coach, Coach Barnes to me. So
that is amazing coming from where he's coming from, man. That's amazing.
Man, and he's
bro.
This is a great young man. He's a great young man, and
master's degree.
Yes, got his master's.
Madison High School.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, got that bachelor's and then got that master's. He had to move around a lot in school because he had to move to different colleges because the support really wasn't there for him coming out. And a lot of times he wanted to quit. And I would get in his ass like he was my real son. And then no, you ain't And that's why when he got his master's, he flooded my inbox when he got his master's. Pictures, wrote me long dedications. And I'm an old school street cat, but I got kind of misty about it. Proud of you, boy. So and he's not the only one. I look at Rook. I look at Octavius. Rook, one of just out, and he does music now. Rook's one of the top producers actually in Milwaukee.
Yeah,
Rook got that bachelor's. Yeah. Oh, but he got that bachelor's degree. He actually came back and coached with us. And so there's a bunch of young men, and I run into them all the time now. They're grown men. So we talking about this, how fast it goes. We were coaching at Madison in like 2010.
Right.
You know what I mean? At 2009. So it's been a while. So I see these young brothers as grown men now, and they come up to me and just, Coach Burns, like Daquan Cornell, Big Swole, we call him. And he's a supporter of Outlaw Radio. He wants to come on here. He wants to come on the Big Black Sports Show. But Daquan has sent me some. I still got to call him Swole. You know, I got to call him Swole. He sends me inboxes all the time and just, Coach, thanks. So many kids from that team, that Madison team, that last one.
A lot of talent.
Oh man, there were so many of them, and that was one of the greatest. We took these boys from not winning a game as sophomores to damn near winning the city as seniors. So,
and speaking of those guys, man, I got to give a shout out to a couple of them, man. Carson Love,
another one,
man.
My goodness,
man, these kids, man. To this day, I still have some contact with them, you know. But yeah, man,
Carson, you brought up Carson was my guy too, and Carson used to do the greatest impression of me, and it's funny because he would do it right, like he would do it, and at first I think he kind of thought I'd be upset about it, so he would do it when I wasn't around, and one of the kids told me like, "Hey, Coach, Carson always imitates you." So one day we were in practice, and I said, "Carson, I heard you do a pretty good impression of me," and he's kind of looking like, "Oh, he's gonna run the shit out of me," because I used to be on them boys, man. They used to be like, "You's the meanest motherfucker." I said, "Let me hear it. If it ain't good, you're gonna have to run for the rest of practice." He had me spot on. Use your hands, D-line. Use your hands. Like it became a thing where he used to just do it, and everybody would laugh. So, man, Alex Tejarina, Carlson Love. You start naming them now. You got me like really tripping on, and that's just that's so that just I got as much. I tell them all the time. I learned as much from y'all as y'all learned from me, and that's when we left Madison and went to Washington. A lot of young brothers that we helped. Marcellus Davis, who went on, got a bachelor's degree. Great young man right now, graduated from Concordia University. And actually, you brought up August Brown. We got August out of here and put him in the university, and people were saying he would never even get close. August is a good kid still out here, man. So many, man. Right. So many. And I'm saying all this to say, if you get an opportunity to work with youth, okay, do it, right? Yes. Like I actually coach Pee Wee League basketball too for my son and kids now. I go to AAU tournaments with my son. They walk up to him and say, "That's I remember your dad." I can't remember them because they were little kids, but they said, you was our coach. We won a lot of games. I ain't know shit about basketball. I just knew how to coach kids, man. So, man, do it, man.
Everything else just worked out.
Man, it worked out, man. And I'm gonna tell you this. I'll say this right now, live on the air. My coaching career ain't done. I'm coming back. When my back gets all the way back healthy, you're gonna see me on the sideline again. Because I actually miss coaching. For coaching football, I never thought it'd be as fun as playing. You have a blast. Like we had a different kind of coaching staff because we celebrated a lot.
Right.
A lot of liquor and
good fun.
Right. We had fun. A
lot of fun. Yeah, we had a lot of good games, a lot of good after game nights.
Going to war. And me and Big Mike, shout out to Michael G. But me and Big Mike talk all the time, and we just laugh about a lot of great memories. Dota, Ladella Greer, like we had Dota. Man. Joe Roberts and oh man, shout out to all those brothers, man. Some great times, man.
Rest in peace, Big George.
Rest in peace to Big George, man. Goodness
gracious, George, man.
Boy, you working on me tonight, Tank. You working on me tonight. You working on me.
Bringing back memories.
Man, Big George, man. Rest in peace, man. Yes, sir. And rest in peace while we added to E-Dan Carson, who's one of the players that I had at Washington High School who was recently murdered. E-Dan was a good kid, man. A good kid. Was supposed to have been off in school playing ball, but life is tough sometimes. So rest in peace. I want to talk about Joe Rogan. I want to talk about Joe Rogan, right? And I talk about Joe Rogan on the sports show because Joe Rogan, a lot of people don't know, was an MMA fighter. Have you heard the Joe Rogan, what he's in trouble for? Have you heard his usage? There's a montage I wanted to pull it up. I can't really pull it up on my phone. I wanted to.
Well,
Go ahead.
he's in trouble. Actually, he is in trouble for, I guess, giving out false information about COVID.
That and his usage of the N-word. Now, shout out
On his
to.
song?
Oh yeah. Shout out to India Irie. I don't know if y'all remember India Irie from. She's a singer. I Am Not My Hair. Beauty's Only Skin Deep. You know, once you can tell, I'm an India Irie fan. I used to love India Irie.
She was dope.
Yeah, she had a song called Brown Skin. She's one of those pro-black sisters, very powerful sister. There were old school artists who were talking about they wanted their music taken off Spotify because of Joe Rogan's opinions on the vaccine. And India Irie came out and said, no, I want my music taken off Spotify as well because of his repeated usage of the N-word. Now, my wife played this montage for me. I can't pull it up on my phone. I wanted to. She sent it to me. But I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna work on trying to pull it up. Basically, what it is over the years, he's been really liberal with his usage of the word nigger. Okay. And you have to listen to it. I like to keep everything in context. It's not like he was, dirty nigger, but he was very, very loose with his usage of it. Okay. First of all, let me say, white people have an unnatural obsession with the word nigger. And I don't know why white people are so obsessed with using that word. Now, I get to say, well, you guys say it, and they say it in rap songs and all this kind of stuff. This is not really that debate about the N-word, which we've had plenty times. White people have an unnatural obsession with this word. Okay, and I don't know if it makes them feel liberated if they can say it. And you'll get white people who will ask you, can I say it? Do you can? And I tell them all, hell no. I don't play that shit. I don't say it. What I've learned over the years as a black man is I don't blow my top when a white person uses it. I don't lose my composure because a white person uses it. As a matter of fact, I'm very self-regulated with it in that I tell my brothers and sisters, you and I alone when we're socializing can use that word, but when we go anywhere, when we're in a place where there's white people or something, we're just out, don't throw that around, because I don't want anybody to feel like they get a pass to use it, right? So I'm not, and there's another reason why I'm not as upset with Joe Rogan as some black people might be, because I say worse shit about white people. I say foul shit about white people when they ain't around. Sometimes when they're around, I say it. Like I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you.
You are the outlaw radio.
I'm the world class smart ass. I reserve the right. Back in the days when we were on Blog Talk, we had a brother who used to call the show, an older brother, man, and I wish I could remember his name, but he would always talk about good black racism. That was his thing. He'd always talk about good black racism. Like, that's just good old black racism. Like, I didn't understand what he was saying. Chris Rock. Well, yeah, and I'm gonna bring that sound clip back where Chris Rock talks about the most racist individual you can find is an old black man, right? Like he said, like the most racist person in the world is an old black man. But I'm not, if you want to call me a nigger, as long as I can call you a honky back, I'm not that. If you say, oh, you nigger, fuck you, cracker. Like then I feel like we're even, right? Like in piece of cat, that's wrong. It is what it is. Now the question becomes, should Joe Rogan lose his podcast? Here's the direct comparison. Whoopi didn't say, and I'm not a Whoopi Goldberg supporter per se, because for years I've looked at Whoopi and said, that's bullshit. Okay. And we're still talking about sports, y'all. I thought this ain't outlaw radio. But no, Joe Rogan was an MMA fighter. So sports is how I was, how I met him. But so Whoopi didn't even say anything racist. She said that the Holocaust was not based on race.
It was based on inhumanity.
That's what she said. Right. And she got suspended. Joe Rogan, if you listen to this compilation or this montage, is nigger. He's challenging other white people. Say the word nigger. And they're saying nigger. He's laughing. Niggers, niggers, niggers. And then he has a clip where he walks in somewhere and there's black people and he says it looks like Planet of the Apes.
Wow.
Spotify paid him $100 million. To all you wannabe podcasters, he's a podcaster who has a $100 million deal. Don't tell me podcasting ain't popping right now. Wow. Okay. And so Spotify is hesitant to take him off. Okay. Once again, I say, if I insinuate anything that they would term homophobic or anti-Semitic, which means anti-Jewish for all y'all people who say, Kev always using big ass words, I get eliminated. But there's a cottage industry on the usage of the word nigger. Songs, movies. Like, white people are quick to make a movie about The Help. 12 years a slave. They want to show your ass this how you lived back in the day, boy, just in case you forgot. He had to watch Eyes on the Prize every goddamn year in school. Right? Had me ready to just murk a white person a lot of years. Nobody gives a shit when you insult a Jewish person or a gay person, the hammer falls on you. But if you're a white person, right, you get the benefit of the doubt. Now, Jay Prince, who is the founder of Rap-A-Lot Records, who is somebody I respect tremendously, says Joe Rogan's not a racist. There's a lot of black dudes coming to his defense saying he's a racist. So my question would be for you, Brother Tank, is, does it make you a racist as a white person if you use the word nigger?
Well, I'm one of those that believe in using it in what context. I also believe that all white people should stay away from the word period. You know, whether they use it in what they feel is a proper content or not. It's definitely a different meaning when we use it among ourselves, as opposed as to when someone else outside of our ethnicity use it towards us as against us. Usually, when other people outside of our color use it, it sounds more of an attack. You know, as more of a term of endearment when we use it. And even when we use it, it's a double-edged sword. It could be a term of endearment, but at the same time, it can be the exclamation mark after some pretty harsh words, or you know what I'm saying, or bickering. So you know, it's
so many words that black people use have more than one meaning. It's the same word. It's usually about how you say it. Like a black person uses that word it depends on how we say it in the context. Because I could say nigga, it means a certain thing. I could say nigga, it means a certain thing. You know, I could say niggas. It all means a certain thing, right?
Right.
I agree with you that white people should stay away from using it, but I'm not upset when they do. And like I said, I'm not upset because you say free speech, freedom of speech. You got to make up your mind. You can't be a hypocrite. I say this a lot. Black people are a little bit too sensitive. And we're a little bit hypocritical. Perfect example being the movie White Girls by Marlon and Sean Wayans. If a white dude, two white dudes did that movie, we'd be ready to kick ass for the cash, right? We'd be protesting, we'd be pissed. I love stand-up comedians. I love black stand-up comedians. A lot of stand-up comedians' whole act is about white people, right?
Right.
I don't know if you've ever heard Louis C.K. And Louis C.K. has a classic bit where he talks about, as a white person, why he would never want to be black. It is fucking hilarious, okay? I'm going to get all of this stuff. I'm going to bring, I used to play these clips and have people dying on the show. I'm going to bring this back. I'm going to bring these clips back. Now that I have my little thing over here, I'm going to bring them back and let people hear them. I also did a show one time. I did a show one time called For Shits and Giggles. And the whole show was race jokes. All we did was race jokes, right? Like I went and found all of the race jokes I could. And I told them. I insulted black people, Mexicans, white people, Latinos. Shout out to West Side Zeladon. He was mad. He said he felt like I'd done a little bit too many Latino jokes. I'm the type of person that'll laugh at a good race joke. Okay. Now, if you are a white person that says nigger with malicious intent, and it's something that you utilize to let me know that your next move is going to be a move of aggression, I deal with you accordingly. Ain't no thing. I got, you say, I got heat for cats like you. Cuz I ain't talking about no gun. I'm saying heat metaphorically, meaning I know how to deal with that. I know how to deal with that situation. And like I said, I say a lot of in the privacy of my own home. This is why I disagree with the John Gruden thing. Because they went into John Gruden's email, right?
Right.
God forbid you put a recorder at my dinner table. God forbid. Because there's some black people getting insulted, there's white people getting insulted. It's to the point where my daughter used to be like, Dad, I always used to call myself a black Archie Bunker. And I feel like I can say what I want to say. You know, I shouldn't lose my job because I say cracker or because I say honky or, you know, because I say Polak or, you know, Rosem Smacker, as my mama used to call them. Or, you know, my mama used to call white people Mr. Write-Off. And I said, why? She said, because in Mississippi, when we was picking cotton, if he wasn't picking fast enough, the white man would be right off his horse and on your ass. So they called him Mr. Write-Off.
Wow.
So I think we all should. I think it comes down to respect. We all should respect each other,
right?
And it comes down to the fact that as a white person, it's disrespectful for you to say that to me. It's disrespectful for you to say, "Hey, nigger," and you know what it. You know it's meant to be disrespectful. But as long as I got the right to turn around and say, "What's up, cracker?" or "What's up, honky?" You know, as long as I got the right to come back and say what I want to say, no harm, no foul, until you decide you want to reach for it. Then that's now we going to a different level. So I might be wrong. Y'all tell me how y'all feel out there. I got a chat room popping, the numbers scrolling across the bottom of the screen. I don't know if y'all see it, but it's a Cash App down there too. We've upgraded our equipment. If you want to see us continuously build this platform out, the presentation is better. I got to pay for all this shit. I don't know if y'all know this. None of this shit's free. I have to pay for this shit. So you want to help out, hit that Cash App, man. Shout out to Ewok. Shout out to Ewok the Great. Ewok done hit it. Like, hey, man. Shout out to Ernest, man. One of your Marshall Eagles, man.
Ewok, what's up, bro?
Eagles are people too, I guess.
Right? Hey, man. Hey, let me tell you something about Ewok that I remember, man. Ewok was a 3-point specialist, dude.
Okay.
In his day when he played basketball at Marshall. Yeah, I'm shouting you out, E. I'm shouting you out, bro. He would come into the game, man. The rusty ass legs, the rusty ass knees, and light your ass up from 3, boy.
He's telling me about his basketball days. You know, he told me about his hooper days at Marshall.
He was a shooter, man. He was cool. What's up, bro?
Yeah, Ewok's a good dude, man. Shout out to Ewok. All the way in AZ, man. Shout out to T. Arsha Arthur, man. T. Arsha Arthur supports the People's Network, man. She rocks with Outlaw Radio. She rocks with the Big Black Sports Show. She told me last night I was shouting out people who support the show. She said, I better hear my name. So I got to shout her out, man. Shout out to T. Arsha Arthur. Yeah, man. So you know that N-word has been thrown around, like, and that's why we can talk about it on the Big Black Sports Show. You know, you got a lot of players in the NFL who use it. And a lot of white guys, I know a lot of white guys listen at us talking to each other and they hear us use it and they look and say, because I've had white guys ask me, if you guys can say it, why can't I say it? And I would tell them the difference is you getting busting your shit. So, and it don't have to be me because we all react differently. So you go somewhere around the wrong brothers and use it and get your ass knocked out the frame. Don't say I didn't tell you to. So who's this? NFT production said niggers. They spelled it out. That's all good. That don't bother me. I guess that's a troll on YouTube. That don't bother me. Like, I don't know if they thought I was gonna snap or something. They spelled it out. I don't even know how you make those characters either. Can you see that? You can't see the chat room, huh?
I can't see it.
Oh man, I gotta figure out a way. Let me put this up here. This is how they spelled it. See that? NFT Productions. If you wanted some because we're live on YouTube as well. If you wanted some pub, there you go. It said niggas, right? All right. If I knew who you were, if you weren't a coward hiding behind a keyboard, I'd have some choice words for you. It ain't no big deal. Big Black Sports Show on a Tuesday night, man. Holla at us on Outlaw Radio. Niggers. You gotta laugh, man. So yeah, man, it's I thought that we were talking about the NFL, and we were talking about the racist policies that the NFL has, and I see now that Stephen A. Smith and Tiki Barber are going back and forth because Tiki Barber said, he can't say that the Giants are racist organizations, and Stephen A. and he said, you don't know nobody over there, so how can you criticize them? Stephen A. came back and said, you don't know what I know. I was a journalist for 30 years. I know some shit about you that I could tell that'll make you look bad, right?
Wow.
So yeah, man. Yeah. But I want to talk about basketball right now because we're coming to the halfway point. So that NBA All-Star game that you're talking about is coming up, and this, in NBA, the second half of the season is really the most important part.
Yes.
We represent the 414. We represent Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So this is the home of the world champion Milwaukee Bucks.
Milwaukee Bucks.
Right, Bucks and 6, as we say around here. But so we want the chances of the Bucks repeating is what the discussion was. And me personally, I felt like the Bucks got hot at the right time last year. For the most part, they were healthy. Giannis had that crazy injury, but he came back from it. We went through teams. We were fortunate because Trey for the Falcons was hurt. Let me see. We got Ewok coming in. Let me see if I can get Ewok on here. Ewok, what's good with you, homie? Can you hear him, Tank?
I can't hear you, E.
Hold on. Let me make sure I get you in here, Ewok. Tank, you can't hear him now?
Still can't hear you, E.
I got you. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna take care of it.
What's going on?
There you go.
Yeah, he can hear you now.
Okay, where was we at? I was trying to find you on my iPad, man, but I can't get it to pop up. You know what I'm saying? So you was talking about basketball last time that I heard what you was on about this season. You was in like it's gonna be some changes after the All-Star, whatever gonna happen and shit. So where was you at?
Well, I was good. You know what? That's where I was going, Ewok. But Tank gave you props at Marshall. He said you was a 3-point specialist. And I know you talked to me about your hooping days, but he said you was a 3-point specialist. But he also said your knees used to be super ashy when you came in the game.
I told you get out. I told you come into the game.
I heard all of that. Hey, MIJ wasn't that good, It was suspect a little bit, but I could drop it when they needed it. You know what I'm saying? When we needed it, I dropped that motherfucker.
Okay.
Yeah. So you was talking about the NBA, and man, I wanted to talk about that real fast if you allow me to.
Oh, go ahead, brother.
NBA, I'm losing interest in the NBA. It's too many Cinderellas out there, man. I'm sick of this shit, man. They don't even hoop, man. It's all about being pretty now. You know what I'm saying? Go get the ugly basket, nigga. Ray Allen, your shit. You know what I'm saying? Where the real players at that used to go in there? Michael Jordan used to damn near get killed, murdered and shit. They used to pull out pistols on this nigga, man. What a real, I'm telling you, there's no bullshit, man. Everybody want to shoot a pretty three. They want the easy dunk and layup and all the glory and shit because they can jump without nobody touching them and shit. So I wonder what y'all think about that shit.
You know what? I hear this argument all the time, Ernest. NBA fans, first of all, let me say, basketball fans are some of the most arguing some bitches I ever. Basketball fans argue about every damn thing. Like basketball fans want to go to war over who's the GOAT. Was it Jordan? Was it LeBron? Who was it? What was the best team? And who's the best So right. See, there we go. Right. But one of the biggest debates is like different eras. So you hear that the young players today couldn't compete in the old NBA because it was too physical. But right. I've also heard a lot of people say those old players, especially in particular big men, couldn't compete in today's NBA because they couldn't shoot the three and they can only play with their backs to the basket. And right now, centers in the NBA don't play with their backs to the basket anymore. Most 7-footers in the NBA got a wet piece. They're going to shoot that jumper.
That's true.
So I think it's about styles. We always say styles make fights, right? Like so. Right. So even with the NFL, like now, this is my comparison for you. I have a lot of brothers who don't like the new NFL, the spread offense, 5 receivers. We throwing the ball. Nobody's gonna line up in double tight no more with a fullback Tank, with a fullback and a halfback and run that ball student body right, student body left, because that don't sell tickets.
Right.
5 receivers, sets, motion, RPO, all that sells tickets. So in the NBA, people want to see scoring. Right. So the 3-pointer, the layup, the dunk, that's what sells tickets.
But you also want to see skill too. I agree with you. I agree with you, man.
That's just like the dream, though. You know what I'm saying? That's how Donald Trump became president of the whole United States of America, because he sold a dream of racism and shit. You know, we all get hypnotized by something during our life. You know, like the song say, everybody plays a fool sometime.
He had to sing, right?
Get addicted to some shit that, you know, some people like Ozark, some people speed watch that, some people speed watch Dexter, some people be in Power, some people be on talking about Power After Sunday, talking about Tommy News show. You know, we all get drug into some shit, you know what I'm saying? But hell, we still got to criticize it at the same time.
No doubt.
Let's be great critics. Let's be good at it. But we, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. And Ewok, I want you to stay with us, because I'm glad because we want to have this conversation about the Bucks. Tank, what was you saying? I want to make sure you get to say what you wanted to say. Tank, what was you saying?
Well, so I didn't pretty much lost my train of thought.
There we go.
What I'm talking about. But basically, man, the Bucks were just the fourth place. They're a game behind this week. So I think that we're primed and set to go back and win another championship. But I still think we need to make a trade. We need another piece, man. I like goons. Playoff time, I like big goons, dude, because the game is physical. Now, we were talking about how the game is softened up and the game is more streamlined now. But in the playoffs, the game slows down and it becomes a half-court sets again. When you're struggling for those points, man, we need a goon. We need another goon down low. We need a shooting guard. And I think
okay. There we go. Okay, so Ewok, you straight now, right? Tank, can you hear him?
I don't hear him.
You still don't hear him, Tank?
No.
He said, "What do you think the Bucks need?"
I think they need a shooting guard. I think we need a better starter than Grayson Allen. We need a pure shooter, not a defender at the 2. We need a shooter at the 2. And the goon to come off the bench.
Okay.
I think we gave up Boogie. I can't hear him.
You still can't hear him, Tank?
No.
Okay, I got it. He said he likes Middleton. He likes Middleton, but he feels like Middleton is lacking in some regards. And it sounds like Ewok, you agree that we need a shooting guard.
But don't Middleton start the 3, right?
You know what? I like Drew. I don't even just like Drew. I love Drew. Drew will go in there and get the grimy points, but that's jumper suspect, man.
Now, the biggest thing that they're doing right now is they're trying to package up DiVincenzo and the youngster Jordan Noora, and they're saying DiVincenzo is slow to recover from the ankle injury. He's not really hitting. He's only averaging 7 points a game. One of the latest news is that they want to go and get Dennis Schrader from the Celtics.
Yeah, Boston.
I mean, yeah. So I don't know how y'all feel about that.
I think Schroeder one of the biggest W motherfuckers of ever all time, but I like him. You know, he a hooper. You know what I'm saying? He can go out there and get buckets. He plays the game of basketball. He grimy. He'll get dirty. Boy, he sure left the money on that table, though. Goodness.
Yeah, he made a big mistake.
Right
78 million on the table or something like that, man, to go get 1 to 3 or 4 million or some shit. Goodness.
Right. 1 year.
Better.
There's some actual scenarios out there where some people say the Bucks made a major mistake by getting rid of Boogie Cousins. And that's a business situation where, because the Bucks are on the hook right now for $47 million in luxury tax. $47 million that they're going to owe for luxury tax. So they weren't in a position where they could sign Boogie, because they need a spot. They need to have a roster spot clear so they can make a move. Right. If you remember last year, the definitive move that they made where they went and got Portis and they went and got PJ Tucker. And so people are saying they might try and get PJ Tucker to come back. I don't know how he's doing in Miami. But Tank said they need a goon. I would, without Brook Lopez, they skirts have been showing. But let's talk about this. The Bucks are in second place right now. They're in second place in the East. They're only out. Depending on how they do against the Lakers tonight. Yep, they're only out one game out of first. And the New Jersey, Brooklyn, who I thought would be the best team in the NBA, is floundering because Kyrie's playing part-time and Harden's hurt and your man Durant is hurt. So they're floundering.
They could easily get right back to the finals, man. Easily get back to just like two changes. I don't think we need to change too much, to tell you the truth. I think with two changes, you know what I'm saying, with that shooting. But see, we got a team full of shooters, but it seemed like they ain't making them up.
I think our bench is kind of thin, though.
We got shooters already, man. We got snipers. We had snipers before they won the finals, when they fucked up the year before they won, and the year before that, we had snipers, and they wasn't hitting, man. They just went cold.
E, what about our bench?
He said, "What about the bench, E?"
I think the bench is solid. I mean, yeah, we need, like, I think we only need two changes. Like I said in the beginning, we need we need a pure shooter. If we get that pure shooting guard that can come down there, like Tank say, you know what I'm saying, that's one of the biggest things we need. You know what I'm saying? We need to have that guaranteed bucket. You know what I'm saying? So people be afraid of that shot. We ain't got nobody that's afraid of that shot right now.
Well, let's throw this out there too. Giannis could possibly be. I hear them talking about Embiid. Giannis is right now, to me, the front runner for the MVP. Giannis right now, what does he have? 20 plus point, 25 plus point games. And this brother's starting to hit the three a little bit. Like I don't think he'll ever be a consistent 3-point shooter.
They gonna want to not give it to him this year just on GP. He gonna have to extra earn it. You know what I'm saying? He gonna have to extra earn the MVP, even if he is the MVP, because they got Embiid up there. Embiid must be whooping some ass, man.
Embiid is getting down. Embiid is, Philly is behind Milwaukee simply because Ben Simmons has chosen to not show up, and so they're missing one of their pieces. Embiid is absolutely. He's
never showed up when he first got drafted. He still ain't showed up since the first day.
A lot of people love Ben Simmons, man. They think Ben Simmons is the next best thing.
Man, time waits for no man. Sitting around playing kitty cat too much, man. You know, people sick of his bullshit. Yeah, you know.
What you say, Tank?
Anybody got all day for nothing. Time waits for nothing.
I would take Ben Simmons.
You gotta get him, but get him good, like Two Shots say.
Tank said he'd take Ben Simmons. Now, what do you like about Ben Simmons, Tank?
Overall game, he's 16. He's 16. He runs the point. He just can't shoot.
Right, he can't shoot.
He just can't shoot.
Well, would you rather have Schrader or would you rather have Ben Simmons?
I'd rather have Simmons than Schrader. I'd rather have, because Schroeder can only play the one of the two.
The Charlie Brown nigga, Schroeder, play the piano. I'd rather have Schroeder than Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is assistant.
Well, first of all, the Bucks absolutely cannot afford to pay Ben Simmons. They can't pay him.
That's wishful thinking.
He won't that much money no more. What has he done? That's what I want to know. What's the big deal about this dude that ain't did shit since they got drafted? He ain't nobody.
I think it's what Tank just said. He's a 6'10" point guard.
Yeah, he's
AD really ain't showed up for the Lakers like he's supposed to. You know, I'm jumping, I'm skipping all over the place, but AD ain't showed up for the Lakers neither, man. You know, but he better than Ben Simmons, scrub, man.
The Lakers.
Are we giving AD enough time, really?
Are we giving him enough time? You said
they did win the bubble.
Is there asterisks on that championship they won in the bubble though? Like Tank says that we got to give AD credit because they won it. Is there an asterisk on that title though? Because I mean, first of all, the Bucks shitted down their leg in the bubble. Like that should have been a year that the Bucks won the title.
So that should have been a repeat.
But it's been other short seasons, and you know what? When you win, you win. You know, just like in the NFL, when they call people they was scabs for playing and all of that. But you know what? At the end of the day, whoever won the trophy, they won it. You know, shit. You gotta give it to them.
That's true. I would tell you this. I think the Bucks need a big man. I don't think they need another guard. I think George Hill is good in the backup role. I think Drew is great at the shooting guard position. I think their big three is solid.
He can't shoot though, Kev.
But his defense Drew is one of the best defenders in the league, and he can score. He's not the greatest shooter. You're right. Drew is not but he is a top-notch defender, and he's a top-notch ball handler and passer. And you just now, I find it funny that you said you can't stand the fact that it's all pretty boy balling about the three, but then you get on Drew because he can't shoot.
That's what I need him to hit that 15-footer. You know what I'm saying? I need you to make those. You know what I'm saying? Your team done held great defense. Y'all done stole the ball. They didn't pass it to you, man. And you can't make that 15-footer. Your shit broke damn near like Bledsoe. I hated Bledsoe. That motherfucker was terrible. He was shooting bricks and shit, man. Oh, wow. Don't get me to talk about him when the Bucks had him. But Drew damn near can't shoot like him. Shit.
Right.
So I don't know. My thing is I think they need a big man. The premium big men are not available right now. So I think if that's the case, then you got to get Schroeder and run and play small ball and run and gun. I mean, first of all, Giannis is 6'10", Middleton 6'7". How tall is Drew? About 6'5", 6'4".
He's 6'4". 6'4",
probably.
So you got size. I think you got to get Giannis in the post sometimes and make him be the big man. If Magic could play all five positions, Magic had to play center when Kareem went down. Jordan has had to play not necessarily center, but Jordan is 6'7", so he could get in the post and play. I think you got to put Giannis in that post more. I've always complained.
Practiced with the greatest of all times to me, as far as a center. I'm gonna tell you, he practiced with Dream Shaker. Hakeem, the Dream Olajuwon. Giannis practiced with that man, but for some reason and shit, they went away from that, and they wanted him to still be coming off that because them big steps and them long steps, they want him up top, running from, you know what I'm saying, taking 2 steps and getting to the rack and shit. But I think Giannis would be so deadly if he learned some of that Dream Shake shit and they just put him down there, man. Oh, that'll be deadly.
I think if you got Drew and Middleton up top, and you got Portis on one wing, and you got Giannis in the post, and you got a DiVincenzo or Grayson Allen on the other wing.
It'll be too easy because they got to hold everybody else. They got to.
Right.
And then Giannis finna murder somebody one-on-one. That's it.
Yeah.
If he knew how to do it like Dream.
Go ahead, Giannis just needs to work on his 3-point shooting, man, because right now, nobody can stop him in the post. He'll stop him in the post right now. He's commanding double and triple teams every time he touches the rock.
I would drink a beer shit about 10 out.
He's stupid. He said he drunk. He walks cashed out, man. Man, we gonna see what they do, man. We gonna see what they do at the All-Star break. I hope Brook Lopez. We see how much we've missed Brook Lopez this year.
Them baskets meant something, man. The ones he was getting.
His defense, he's a rim protector. And right now the Bucks, I've watched Bucks games, and it's almost sick how vulnerable they are in the middle. Like you can go down the middle of the floor on the Bucks at will. I think my big old ass, even with my newly rebuilt back, could go down the middle on a pick and roll. I'm obviously exaggerating, but they need help in the middle. They need help in the middle.
Yeah. They play matador defense. Here we go again with the pretty boy style of basketball. Nobody want to pack that flow and hold their hands up and shit and say, yeah, get past me. Get past me if you think you can get past me.
Yeah, well, today's
Middleton is a prime example. He ain't finna hold no D. He too pretty. I just shoot jumpers. I got a good jump shot, and that's all they paying me for. That's all he go out there to do. is shoot his jumper.
I had to disagree. I like Middleton's game. I think Middleton at 6'7" poses a problem for a lot of opposing guards.
He don't play D.
But hold on, the Bucks were a top-notch defensive team. They were like tops in scoring and defense for the last couple years. It's without Brook Lopez and without PJ Tucker, you really gut their defense. Lopez was a shot blocker.
I ain't talking about that in
general. I'm singling out Chris Middleton for not playing defense, man. He one of those pretty boys, don't want to be touched as niggas. He just want to shoot his J. I'm not saying that the Bucks not top 10. They have been top 10 in defense for the past 3 years. And offense. I think they both.
Well, we're going to see. We're going to see, man. Ewok, you know we always got love for you around here, man. You support the People's Network, Hard Body Karate, so you know I fucks with you, man. Like, you know, I go, you, my man.
I appreciate you allowing me being on for so long, man, talking my shit. You know, all that spilled the beans about me having my drink. Now you want to kick me off the
Oh, no. You ain't got to go. I'm respecting your time. You know, they say ain't nothing cooking but the peas in the pot, and it wouldn't be cooking if the water wasn't hot. So you can stay, as long as you want. I don't give a shit. We're about to get out of here. It's 9. Me and Tank always say Tank and I always say we only gonna stay on for an hour. It's 9 o'clock, so we've been on. But I this is what I do, y'all. I'm addicted to this microphone. I'm like Rakim, right? I'm a microphone fiend.
I hold it like a grudge there, homie.
You know what I'm saying?
I love Tank, man. Y'all niggas keep it real, man. I love y'all both, man. One love.
Peace and love, Ewok. Ewok the great. Ewok the great. Ewok the great. That's my man right there. Ewok, tell it like it is, man. Yeah, man. So, you know, it's a lot going on. You know, I wanted to, before we even get out of here, I thought one of the funniest things that I seen was they decided to do NASCAR in South Central LA in the Coliseum.
Okay.
And Ice Cube performed at a NASCAR race, right? You talking about some confused white people. There's articles in the People's News Network that where I talk about the reactions of a lot of the people to Ice Cube performing at a NASCAR event, like, and you know you're in LA, so yeah, it's Cubes. LA is Cubes,
right?
But it was very funny, man. It's a super funny thing, and that's why like we talk about the hip hop Super Bowl is coming up with Snoop and Dre and Ice Cube performing at halftime. This for Middle America, you know, I just want to hear the reactions. Just want to see the looks on their faces, right? Like hip hop up in your face, right? The sound of Black America, man. And so I'm proud of hip hop for really having legs. And Jay-Z, when he took this job, people were critical of him, saying, you know, Jay was out of order because he took it. And he was supposed to be an ally of Kaepernick. And I'm still mad at the NFL about how they treated Kaepernick, as well as their lack of minority owners and coaches and this kind of thing. Right. So I feel like this, in one aspect, it's a kind of like a token moment for them to say, okay, but we got Snoop and Dre and you know, Ice Cube doing the halftime show. But at the same time, Kamar Carter on Outlaw Radio, my co-host, he said, I don't give a shit. I'm just happy to see hip hop in a position. Like he said, I'm just happy to see the music there. So, I'm, you know, a look is a look. Like Ewok said, whoever win, right? Like, so hip hop is going to be front and center, and it's a good thing. So, you know, it is what it is. I want y'all to tune in tomorrow night for Outlaw Radio. We're going to go hard in the paint tomorrow night, and it's all about social commentary. And it's all about keeping it a buck. Shout out to everybody who tuned in, because last night's show, shout out to Beverly Williams, who came on and talked about what's going on in MPS last night. Great show. A lot of people tuned into the show. Yeah, numbers everywhere. Shout out to Chantel Gwynn. She came on. She wanted some help for her son, who has aplastic anemia. I might be saying it wrong. It's all in the People's News Network. I shared it. It's part of my story. And she needed brothers and sisters to go and get swabbed to see if they could be potential donors. And this is a disease that affects, you know, it's a rare disease that affects Black kids. But we got good news. First of all, a lot of people saw that. They saw the post. They chimed in. A lot of people heard the show. They've extended themselves and said they're willing to go and be tested to see if they are donors, could be potential donors for her son. So shout out to y'all for that. And then I talked to her this morning. She said she had some good news in which the blood centers want to do a blood drive to find a potential donor. So shout out to her. And if you supported that sister, that's what's up. And it's all about us doing for us. That's always the method. That's why I said, fuck watching ESPN. I'm going to start my own ESPN. Fuck watching CNN. I'm going to start my own CNN. Right? I'm not waiting on no bus that might not never come. I just start walking. I'll get there eventually. Right? Shout out to Michael G. He always used to tell me something that I always remember and I always quote it. Everybody in life wants to succeed. Everybody wants to be successful. Everybody wants to be somebody. The problem is everybody wants to find the elevator to success. There is no elevator. You got to take the stairs. I will see y'all tomorrow night, man. Peace and love. Shout out to you, Tank. Y'all get Tank's book. Tank, hold that book up one more time. Y'all get a hold of my brother's book. Get a hold of my brother's book, man. Get a hold of my brother's book. Tank, we'll chop it up. We'll chop it up. And like I said, man, thank y'all for supporting. Peace and love, man. Y'all be cool.
Peace.